If you've ever bought a home, you know how fragmented and painful the process can be. As customers demand a more integrated and convenient experience like they have in other industries, mortgage lenders are now racing to become essentially best in class for all home buying needs. So I caught up with Marcos Cavalho and Frederick Towns of NestReady to hear their pitch on how they're helping lenders deal and adapt with this new trend. So Marcos, talk to me about how NestReady came to be.
So NestReady has been around for about 6 years. We first started using big data and proprietary matchmaking algorithms to help people identify the best place to live in, right? And we created very engaging tools for home buyers. That's when some large lenders approach us to use those tools within the new experience, home buying experience they are looking to offer to their clients. So we look at the home buying in general, and we saw how fractured it was, and the opportunity to help customers to have a much better experience while supporting the financial institution to become the trusted brand for every home buying need.
So you mentioned lenders. How are you helping them get prepared?
Lenders need to get prepared to this new generation that are expecting the same experience they have with other applications for the home buying journey. That experience goes through an integrated, trusted platform. We trust our financial institution. That's where we have our money. And today, actually, 85% of customers are initiating the buying process within the lender's website, because we're talking about millennials, first-time home buyers. They need to understand how the mortgage process works, how buying a home works, so they go to their financial institution. And everybody wishes they could have the best service and the best rate from their primary financial institution. And that's what we are enabling. We are empowering lenders with different solutions to provide everything from the dream phase until refinancing, all the tools home buyer needs within that trusted ecosystem.
So we can't talk about home buying without talking about the realtors. Where do they fit into this ecosystem?
The realtor is a very important part of the ecosystem, right? One thing that is important to mention is that our preference is always that lenders strengthen relationships with local realtors. So we can invite realtors that are already part of the lender's ecosystem, or if the lender needs to increase relationships with local realtors, we can also bring from our own network that we have developed in the past 6 years. Another important piece of it is that home buyers are matched with the most suitable realtors for them through the digital experience. Whenever they feel ready to visit a property or to receive real estate support, they can call our customer service that is fully trained to support the lender's clients and be connected with the most suitable realtors for them.
So I'd love to get into the technology behind your platform, and I understand that it's really all about the machine learning basis of it. So tell me a little bit about that.
So we build a platform with different applications that we white label to financial institutions. We've seen some lenders spending millions of dollars to try to build their own end-to-end experience. And we can literally provide those plug-and-play interface that are fully customized for the lenders. That covers everything from home search, discovering neighborhoods, connection with realtors, and to identify when's the right time to purchase a new property or refinance or even sell your property. So the clients stay engaged through this experience, and by using those platforms, we get to understand them better. This data is used within our machine learning models to make the best recommendations for the financial institutions that will, by using these recommendations, have actionable insights on their customers and be able to better serve them. But to get into more details about that, I think we should talk to our CTO, Frederick Towns, our machine learning specialist.
I will do that. Well, Marcos, thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you.
So Fred, I understand you are the machine learning expert, and it's obviously such a hot topic within the industry right now, but how do you make all that data actionable?
That's the most important piece, and we get that question a lot. I think the way that we do that is really hinged around integrations. 4 or 5 years ago, everyone was talking about big data. Big data wasn't really a thing, but it was like this race to see who could capture the most. We capture quite a bit, actually, right? We have consumer psychographics, consumer behavior. We have property data as well. And then obviously we bring all that to the lender with their portfolio data, and there's even more data sets that we get into, but those are the big kind of buckets. But anyway, we make it actionable through integrations. And the way that we do that is simply by working with marketing automation or CRMs or any kind of business process automation to help bubble up the most important actions that someone should take. For example, when we get started with a partner, one of the things we want to do is understand how their business model works, like how they go from beginning to end and the experience or journey they take their customer through. And then we personalize those as business rules. And our machine learning algorithm can actually determine what action should be taken, based on signals that we see in our model, right? And then the last piece is we incorporate some training so we can make sure that over time we get better and better at what we recommend the action be. And then of course everybody wants reporting, so we make sure that we can allow you to slice and dice the data into ways that we can't even imagine. So we have some canned reports, but then you can obviously build any kind of report that you would like. And then that's the best of both worlds, right? So you can increase productivity, you can make the yield or the performance of your marketing campaigns or your humans, like loan officers or realtors, like perform better. But then you can analyze that data, right? And bring kind of human insight into what the data and the machines are doing.
And we're seeing a trend now where firms like Rocket Mortgage are launching, or Quicken Loans launching, Rocket Homes.
Exactly.
But what are your thoughts around that? What's happening there?
Yeah, I think that's all perfect. It's awesome. That's what we want to see. I mean, ultimately, we really care about this consumer experience and this journey. We work with financial institutions because we believe that we're kind of like the unfair advantage to help them unlock the rest of this journey, this experience. And so what we're seeing out there is, this industry kind of catching up with the next wave or the next shift in what consumers are expecting. So we think that these folks should actually build their own tech, right? They should improve their own internal systems that they've been using for ages, right? And make sure that they're empowering their own employees and, improving their economies of scale and all the other things like gross margin and all that type of stuff. But the thing that I think complements that perfectly is what we do, right? So our mission is really to look at the entire industry, gather all this data, and do it in a way that's kind of agnostic of a specific business, and bring all that to the lender as an unfair advantage, right? So we touch many more consumers, given that there's not a single player that's dominant. As we grow our adoption, we're able to grow our insights and bring that to those who've decided to partner with us.
So if I'm a loan officer, what does that mean?
Well, this is the part where the magic happens, right? So basically what we'll do is the loan officer is going to be living in their CRM, and typically what they do is they try to look at things like attributes around leads like a score, right? And so that's where the marketing team comes in and they look at all the different behaviors and activities that a consumer's done and try to help focus the efforts and the time that a loan officer puts into developing and originating more loans. And so we actually zoom in on that quite a bit in more detail and make that a completely different world. So we try to decouple two things. One, what the loan officer isn't doing, and then two, what the loan officer should do. And so in terms of what they should do, we have a number of additional dimensions or ways that they can sort the leads. One of them that's really critical is intent. Another one is going to be time to close. And so basically the loan officer can look in there and say, okay, I want to look at everybody that's going to close in the next month, and I want to see that their intent score is very high or high, right? And so basically that's the upper end of the spectrum, and that means that if they call those people, they'll be able to look inside the CRM, and it's going to have a specific task for them. For example, it'll say, hey, you should explain a cashback offer to this prospect, because that's the specific incentive that's going to make them close by the date that we estimate. So we close the whole loop for them. So it's not just like, hey, these leads look good, like good luck, happy fishing. It's like, hey, call these specific people with this call to action in order to drive this outcome, right? So that's the first piece. The second piece is kind of the perfect complement for every loan officer, or anybody kind of doing a sales-like function or a go-to-market function, where we can actually take all the data that we capture and personalize messaging that goes out to the people who are not yet ready to transact. So in other words, if their intent is lower than high or very high, these people can get a personalized message that we can fine-tune, or we can work with the marketing or go-to-market team to fine-tune, to nurture them and develop them to get their score, right, their intent score to be high or very high, right? So loan officers are totally focused in on taking the right action with the right lead at the right time, which is a whole new world.
Well, it certainly sounds like NestReady is revolutionizing the home buying experience. Fred, thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you.
NestReady is clearly reshaping the entire home buying process. From Medici Studio, I'm Shannon Rossick.